Today, we're talking about taking inventory of your time so you stop spending time on frivolous things. Check it out. Welcome to the next episode of Same Page. We are your hosts, Sarah Semajust.
And I'm Léonard Semajust.
Today we're talking about a topic that we don't talk about a lot, but I think everybody can attest to the fact that they waste a lot of time, but they're not necessarily aware of it.
Mm-hmm.
So we are going to talk about how to take inventory of your time so that you are a little bit more efficient with it.
Absolutely, definitely be more productive. And it basically comes down to, just like everything else, analyzing what you do during the day. So the first thing you need to do is to break down all your activities into 15-minute increments, and then and you want to jot down and log all the things that you do throughout the day, and you want to track that for a week. And then once you've been able to gather that data, then you can see where you're allocating your time and where you're not allocating your time.
Yes, absolutely. A lot of times, I think, especially on social media, we think, you're scrolling and scrolling and scrolling. Maybe 15 minutes, half an hour passes by, and then just the time that it takes you to get back into whatever you were doing, whatever productive thing, whether it was replying to an email or writing an essay if you're in school or analyzing a property, there's that momentum that was lost, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then it takes time to get back into it. So when you waste time, not only you lose that momentum, but I don't think we're really aware of the amount of time that we spend on things that are not directly productive, but also directly related to what we want to do. And I do find myself doing that, where I'll start replying to an email and I'm looking for a word that's not the right word. I erase it. I'm looking for a synonym, and I reach for my phone and I start scrolling, right? And then I'm like, oh, wait a minute, 15 minutes passes, and I'm like, oh, that's not what I was doing. Put the phone down and then go back to my email. I just wasted 15 minutes. I could have been done that email maybe within 5 minutes, but now I have to get back into it. So just like Leonard mentioned, we do encourage you to, for 2 weeks, actually take a notepad in 15 minutes increment from 9 to 9:15. What did you do? Did you wake up, exercise? Did you wake up, scroll through your phone? 9:15 to 9:30, you took a shower. 9:30 to 9:45, et cetera, until even when you go to bed, how long you slept. Then at the end, what you can do is actually color coordinate them. So if you're running a business, you can, in yellow, you highlight every 15-minute increments that you allocated to your business.
Mm-hmm.
And then you can really ask yourself, is the amount of time that I'm putting towards the business enough to achieve my goals? If I'm not achieving what I want to achieve, is this, an hour and a half, 2 hours a day, or whatever it is that you're spending towards the business, is that enough to make your business grow to $1 million business, right? Or are you going to have to allocate more time to that? And it also makes you realize whether if you're spending too much time on social media, watching TV, talking on the telephone, then at least you're aware, right? I think some people have a difficult time changing those habits, and I'm not saying it's easy, but the first step to actually changing a habit is being aware that you have that habit, right? So when you see it on paper, then you can say, okay, well, I spent 2 hours, watching TV or social media. I'm actually purposely only going to spend an hour and a half next week, right? I'm going to only watch TV, if that's what it is that you do, from 6:30 to 8, as opposed to 6 to 8. And then maybe you can, decrease or cut it out altogether. I think it should be cut out altogether, but that's my opinion, to allocate more time to your goals. And that's really one thing that you can do to really take inventory of what you're doing throughout the day.
And one other a good thing about having all this data in front of you is also to kind of make you try and focus more on the task at hand. And oftentimes we're, especially with social media and the access that we have with our phones, there's so many distractions. So just like Sarah was alluding to earlier, so she's talking about, like, and maybe initially she was replying to this email, but then she hears a ding on her phone, and then she automatically goes there, or then she hears another ding on something else, and then she is scrolling on social media for half an hour, and then she forgets about that email that she was actually trying to complete. So one thing that this exercise helps you to do is to set aside a certain amount of times for whatever task you need to do, and during those tasks you need to take away as much distractions as you can. So either turn your ringer off, you need to shut off your notifications, and really focus on what you need to do during that time frame, and then you move on to the next, and so on and so forth.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's not going to be an exact, you're not going to be able to go from 0 to 100. At least you could technically. I shouldn't put limits on you. If that's what you want to do, then go ahead. But at least it makes you aware of how you're spending your time and how to better allocate your time to different tasks. And keep in mind, when you're doing this exercise, you're going to be on your best behavior. You know that you're going to be logging this time, so you're probably going to be very careful as to how you spend it. You're like, okay, I'm going to have to write down how long I spend on social media. So you're probably going to decrease the amount of time that you spend on social media, or watch TV, or talk on the phone, or just, do random things. So on a regular basis, you're probably wasting more time than when you're actually logging it. So keep that in mind. If you actually don't decide to take action and reallocate your time to be more productive, then you're more likely going to be spending more time being less productive in reality.
Yeah. So and like just like everything else, you need to be honest with yourself, and so make sure you log those times correctly, and then also kind of give yourself a little give, knowing that, okay, maybe because of this exercise, as Sarah was alluded to, you may be on your best behavior, but then you want to add in that extra time for when you actually for what you actually do.
Exactly. All right. Well, this is just some tips for you guys. If you want to be more productive, more efficient with your time, let us know if you actually went through the exercise. How did it go? If you enjoyed it, if you did enjoy it, and if it actually led you to allocate your time differently to be more productive.
And also, kind of share with us what your distractions are during the day, because I know that's something that I suffer with as far as trying to stay on task. There's often some distractions, so just let us know what those distractions are.
All right, guys, thank you for watching this video. Don't forget to subscribe, to like, to comment like Leonard asked you to. And yes, we'll see you next week.
And don't forget to live your truth.